From walkouts and empty chairs to smiles and hugs in the upper chamber, the Senate returns for a special session, but with most minority senators absent, including Senator Robin Padilla, who was spotted at a movie screening earlier today. Meanwhile, Senator Joel Villanueva crosses over to become lucky number 13 for Senator Win Gatchalian, making him the first Bachelor Senate President as dubbed by his fellow senators. And after weeks of political drama, things may finally be settling down as some minority senators accept the new leadership. But the battle may be far from over. Former UE Law Dean Amado Valdez joins us live in the studio regarding what happens now to Cayetano's petition against Gatchalian's block before the Supreme Court and other legal matters. Good evening, I'm Lourdes Vera. Congress has adjourned its special session after convening earlier today. In the Senate, Senator Win Gatchalian has been elected Senate President, ending weeks of leadership deadlock. And for the details, we have our mobile journalist, Merrimon Reyes. Merrimon. All right. So, yung atmosphere ba dyan sa Senado, sabihin natin na wala nang gun smoke.
Lord, figuratively and literally so far wala pa naman na dahil though hindi naging present yung entire minority bloc sa special session ngayong hapon na pinagpatuloy kasi nung umaga wala talaga nagpakita pero nung 3 p.m. nung ipinagpatuloy ang special session after ng convening ng Commission on Appointments, we saw some members of the minority bloc na present na. That includes sina Senator Pia Cayetano, Aimee Marcos, Loren Legarda, Camille Villar, Senator Bongo. Ang hindi lang natin nakita talaga sa special session pero present kanina sa CA is si Senator Rolando Marcoleta. Whereas si Senator Robin Padilla naman, Senator Mark Villar, wala talaga sila sa buong araw na ito, hindi natin sila nakita. And so far, yung sa case naman ni Senator Jinggoy, wala nga siya. And si Senator Bato de la Rosa, he's still at large. Pero so far naman, natapos naman ng maayos yung pag-adjourn sinidie nitong special session, itong session na part ng first regular session. And ang though naipit or nabitin yung pagsalang sa anti-political dynasty bill, sabi naman ni Senator Risa Ontiveros, may isasalang naman daw yan sa pagbabalik ng second regular session na kung saan marami pa raw kasi may gustong mag-interpellate kaya hindi siya nasalang for this day. Lord.
Okay, nagkaroon ng mga kiskisan kanina. Unahin natin. Senator Lacson versus Marcoleta. Okay, at natuloy ba yung paghirang dito sa mga general?
So far, Lord, nagkaroon lang ng ilang. Kasi si Senator Marcoleta may nirelease lang na technicalities tungkol sa timeline na naglapse na nga raw yung sa retirement nitong mga general. So parang kine-question lang naman kung paano mangyayari yung confirmation ng promotion nila. And ang sinabi naman ni Senator Ping Lacson na nagsalita rin siya sa floor sa CA kanina, hindi raw kasalanan nitong mga to na nagkagulo-gulo raw sa Senado. So naudlot yung confirmation nila ng promotion. Pero so far nakita natin natapos naman ng maayos itong Commission on Appointments. And wala pa naman so far initan na ulit sa pagitan nitong dalawang senador. Lord.
Kumbaga, si Senator Marcoleta rin ay kine-question ang proceedings from here on, di ba? Ang legalidad, tama ba ako, Merrimon?
Yes, Lord. Same din sa kung paano sila nag-exchange ng salita ni Senator Ping tungkol sa Blue Ribbon Committee proceedings, yung pinanghahawakan nito, yung proseso, yung technical nito na aspeto kung nasusunod daw ba talaga ayon sa saligang batas. Ganun din naman yung na-raise kanina. Pero so far, mukhang babalikan din natin yung final na list nitong mga umusad na promosyon. Pero wala namang naging giitan na so far. Natapos naman na mapayapa yung commission appointments, yung convening nila kanina.
May nangyari daw kiskisan between Senators Risa Ontiveros and Pia Cayetano sa floor. Ano ang nangyari? Pakwento, Merrimon.
Tungkol kasi yan, Lord, dun sa anti-hospital detention bill. And yung pinaka-kinocontest ni Senator Pia Cayetano ay tungkol doon sa yung nais si Senator Risa na tanggalin yung promissory letter na system. And sinasabi dito, nag-warning si Senator Pia na pag tinanggal daw yung promissory note, ito ba daw ay disaster sa mga ospital and may threaten yung sustainability especially ng small private hospitals. Pero ang sabi naman dito ni Senator Risa, yung system ay ine-enhance naman daw ng social protection and government financial institutions na binaback up instead of forcing patients to face hospitals alone. Kasi ang tinitingnan din dito, yung magkaroon ng hindi makulong yung mga pasyente dahil sa mga kailangan pang bayarin and such. Pero so far yun yung nakita natin na heated exchange between the two senators. Let's listen into a part of their exchange at the session.
But our name is on the list to propound amendments. So thank you to the Majority Floor Leader who was gracious enough to allow us to still propose our amendments.
You're welcome, Mr. President. I made of
No,
record earlier
I
that
thank
there
the
were...
Majority Floor Leader, not Her Honor, because Her Honor
Oh.
closed the period of amendments despite our name being there.
Well, Mr. President, just to reiterate, in this morning's session, I made of record that there were no more committee amendments and no other colleagues had submitted proposed individual amendments. And I said repeatedly, more than once, that if the body allows, that I would respectfully move to close the period of amendments. And that is also why, Mr. President, this afternoon, when the Majority Leader asked me on behalf of the gentle lady from Taguig and Pateros to reopen, I readily agreed.
The practice is usually staff to coordinate if there's a name on the list because sometimes the person who made the reservation would waive their right.
Okay. So, akala ko naman medyo maanghang ang palitan at parang yung walang kamustahan na portion dati kung naalala natin in Merrimon. Pero okay. Ang umaga kanina, puro majority lang at as expected, si Senator Joel Villanueva nagpakita at iba ang tone ngayon, ano? Merrimon?
Tama, Lord.
Ibang tone at pabiru pang binuksan ni Senator Zubiri, Miguel Zubiri at medyo biniro pa tungkol sa kaniyang work habits itong bagong Senate President as Win Gatchalian.
Oo, Lord, and sinasabi, isa daw, bukod sa pagsusuporta na nila sa liderato ni Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, parang isang pangako pa rin daw nila na hahanapan ng date si Senator Sherwin dahil daw baka raw magreklamo na yung mga staff ni Senator Gatchalian na dahil sa talamak daw na trabaho at sinasabi nitong mga senador both from the majority bloc and even as recognized and congratulated by Senator Loren Legarda from the minority, iba raw yung disiplina at yung talino, yung commitment at dedication daw ni Senator Gatchalian sa kanyang trabaho. Kaya sabi kanina ni Senator Loren, kino-congratulate niya si SP Gatchalian maging si Senator Tito Soto na na-elect na rin as Senate President pro tempore.
Alright. So, Merrimon, bukas, pre-trial conference. Gaano kahalaga ito pagdating sa legalidad? At ang magpe-preside dito ay si, of course, ang bagong Senate President. Ano? At paki-explain sa amin kung ano ang mga mangyayari bukas.
Lord, yung pre-trial conference ng impeachment, dito yung paglalatag ng mga ebidensya, ng mga testigo or witnesses, and yung pag-lay out ng timeline for the impeachment trial. Ang nasabi sa amin so far, closed door ito na session bukas and it will be done around 9 a.m. Pero ang inaantabayan na natin pagkatapos nun ay yung opportunity to have new info and to interview SP Gatchalian tungkol doon. So far, ang sinabi rin kanina ni Senator Ping Lacson, minamata na ng majority bloc na kapag nag-convene sila as an impeachment court ulit by July 6, iluluklok nila si Senator Cheese Escudero as the presiding officer of the impeachment. Dahil daw, may experience daw, may alam itong si Senator Cheese pagdating sa impeachment trial, plus abogado raw siya. Pero kanina, sa pagtatanong natin ulit kay Senator Risa Ontiveros kung final na ba yun, sabi lahat daw yan malalaman kapag nag-convene na sila as impeachment court. Hiwalay raw kasi ito sa usapin nila bilang legislative body. So that will happen by July. Lord.
So hindi pala open sa media, pero dito ay magmamarka raw sila ng mga ebidensya, no? Tapos ang bilang at pangalan ng mga witnesses, ang pagtatakda ng mga petsa ng trial, at yung proposed sequence ng presentation ng evidence at possible yung modification of the order of trial. At mahalaga rin dito ay kailangan daw lahat daw ng ebidensya ay isasubmit within the period kasi otherwise hindi raw tatanggapin, Mary Mon.
Tama, Lord. Para rin yan sa, sabi ni Senate Secretary Ray Bantug, para lang din yan sa ibang mga korte. Kaya may period para ipasok o ipadala itong mga ebidensya, yung listahan ng mga witnesses or ng mga tetestigo, plus yung paglalatag. Administrative daw kasi ito. So nililinaw din ni na Senator ni SP Gatchalian, wala ditong verdict ng guilty or not guilty, wala ring trial proper. It's more on the administrative side na paglilay down lang para hindi raw magulo at seamless o maayos yung daloy ng impeachment trial. So, so far, nag-submit naman both House Prosecutors Panel and yung Defense Panel or team ni Vice President Sara Duterte ng kanilang pre-trial briefs nitong isang araw. So bukas, nakatakda pa rin yung pre-trial conference nila. All systems go pa naman daw. No indication so far na magkakaroon ng pag-uudlot sa impeachment trial or proceedings. Ang sabi rin ni Senator Risa, kung naghahanda raw silang majority block para sa nalalapit na impeachment trial, dahil nag-take naman na raw sila ng oath, lahat bilang senator judges, hindi na naman daw malabong naghahanda rin ang minority senators tungkol doon.
Oh, halimbawa, yung idadagdag daw supposedly ni Congressman Terry Redon, yung firearms ni VP Sara at yung sa asawa, ito ba ay covered pa rin nun, halimbawa?
Yan yung aalamin natin bukas. Kasi kung sakali man na mabibigyan ng pagkakataon, may proseso pa rin yan na kailangang para ma-formalize yung pagpapasa. Kumbaga hindi lang siya yung basta-basta lang na masabing may idadagdag, eto na siya. Usually meron din naman siyang legal process para maipasok officially. Pero we'll wait tomorrow sa pre-trial conference kung matatanggap pa nila ito kung sakaling isusumite. Pero ang malinaw, so far malinaw ang kalendaryo nila ngayon hanggang by the end of June. Kasi sabi ni Senator Risa, hindi naman daw yan agad-agad na natatapos. Malinaw pa rin. Yun pa rin na pre-trial. July 6 pa rin ang target nila for the impeachment trial proper. Kaya even on the part of the media, inaayos na rin ngayon yung listahan ng mga magko-cover kasi magiging mahigpit din daw syempre on the logistics sides ang Senado pagdating na ng impeachment.
Nako. Okay. Matutuloy ba yung pinaplano ng majority na kaso against former Congressman Mike Defensor tungkol sa kanyang announcement of a supposed Blue Ribbon Committee hearing?
Lord, ang sabi dyan ni Senator Erwin Tulfo, tinitignan pa rin daw nila pero hindi nawawala yung possible na kaso na usurpation of authority. And so far, ang sabi rin ni Senator Erwin, titignan daw nila kung iimbitahan ulit yung alleged bag ng flood control kickbacks na magiging hearing ng Blue Ribbon. Kasi baka kung ano-ano na naman yung sabihin, paulit-ulit lang daw yung sinasabi. So isa yan sa inaaral nila. And so far, pagkatapos daw ng State of the Nation address ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, naka-schedule or may schedule na ang pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon. Ang kanina, nung nasa session hall si Senator Bongo, sinusubukan nating tanungin kung bakit walang mga senador from the minority ang sumunod doon sa venue. Kasi while sila Senator Amy Marcos hindi pinapasok ng umaga doon sa venue, natuloy yung pinaka-press con. Pero ang huling nasabi ni Senator Bongo, wala raw siyang munang comment pero parang wala raw siyang alam tungkol doon sa ginawang press conference ni former Congressman Defensor kasama yung bagmen. Lord.
Si Alan Peter Cayetano ba, may nagsabi ba kung magpapakita bukas?
Wala pang indication so far, Lord. Ang huli lang na naging galaw ng baso mula sa minority ay kanina sa session kung saan si Senator Lauren Legarda binanggit niya or naging manifestation na gawing minority floor leader itong si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Wala namang contest so far tungkol doon at inaprubahan naman yan ng liderato. So the most na maaaring marinig natin o makita natin yung presensya nitong mga senador baka sa next regular session na second regular session o pwera na lamang kung sa mga susunod na araw pupasok sila dito at makakasalubong natin. Lord.
Kanina may mga yakapan, akbayan, mga ngitian. Pero may napansin ka ba, Mary mo, na mga linya na hindi nilalagpasan o yung mga ngiti na alam mong civil lamang? Nakichismis,
So, Lord, nakita kasi natin yung presence ng minority senators nung nag-convene na ang Commission on
Yes.
Appointments. Pero nung umaga ng 9 to around 11 a.m. or noon, walang minority senators. Nung nag-convene na ang CA, di pumasok na sina Senator Pia Cayetano, sina Senator Lauren Legarda, Amy Marcos, Bongo, tsaka Rodante Marcoleta. Nakikipagkamayan naman, nakikipag-usap si Senator Marcoleta, sina Senator Tito Soto, si Senator Erwin Tulfo, nakita natin, kinakausap si Senator Bongo. Sa kababaihan naman, sina Senator Risa, kasi magkakatabi sila doon sa CA, yung hilera nila. Senator Risa, Senator Amy, tsaka sila Senator Lauren Legarda, may smiles here and there, pero sabi naman na so far natong mga senador from the minority bloc, they remain part of the minority and pare-pareho naman ang nais nila na matuloy daw ang trabaho ng Senado. Pero nung tinatanong namin si Senator Amy Marcos kanina kung tapos na ba ang gulo, ngumiti lang si Senator Amy and then sinabi niya ayaw na, hindi naman daw sila nanggugulo. So we'll wait and see kung anong mangyayari. Pero nung kaninang umaga, natanong natin si Senator Erwin kung anong masasabi niya kung bakit kaya wala yung ibang mga miyembro ng minority bloc sa special session nung umaga. Sabi ni Senator Erwin, baka raw hindi pa kasi tanggap ng mga senador na eto na yung liderato ngayon ni Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Pakinggan lang natin yung bahagi ng pahayag ni Senator Tulfo.
Siguro naisip nila, na-realize nila na mali yung ginagawa ng mga yun at kalukuhan na lang. Bakit kasi sipot to, puro kasinungalingan. Madali kasi magturo di ba?
Well, yun Lord yung tungkol doon sa Blue Ribbon, yung sinasabi ni Senator Tulfo na tinitingnan pa nila kung iimbitahan nila ulit itong bagmen kasi nga raw paulit-ulit. Plus, ang hindi nga lang natin nakuha ng malinaw ay kung kailan na sila magfa-file, kung meron man ng kaso laban kay former Congressman Defensor. Lord.
Okay, kasi may isa doon, may potential talent na mag-game show host eh. Kung narinig mo yung press con, Mary mo na, no? Pwedeng pumalit sa isang sikat na na personalidad. Pero Mary Mon, napuno na ba ang mga committee? Nakapag-elect na ba ng mga chair? Meron pa bang mga puwang o mga bakante? At ito pa, meron bang mga napasang bills, final reading, kumbaga?
So far, Lord, ang nabitin ay yung anti-political dynasty bill na hindi na isalang. Pero pagdating doon, kasi hinihintay natin ngayon mula sa opisina ni Majority Leader Senator Mig Zubiri yung final list ng naaprubahan na on second or third reading. Pero pagdating doon sa committee chairmanship, nagkaroon na ng pag-aayos or organization ng komposisyon nito. Sa Blue Ribbon Committee, nadagdag puwera kay, or bukod kay Senator Kiko Pangilinan as Vice Chairperson, si Senator Ping Lacson din, Vice Chair na ng Blue Ribbon Committee. And may pagpapaliwanag si Senator Ping dito kung bakit hindi niya talaga
Ayaw na.
kinuha ulit yung pagiging chairman. Dalawa raw. Ayaw niya raw na mawalan pa ng mga kaibigan at madagdagan pa ng bagong kaaway or kalaban. At pangalawa, kung meron mang kapantay, meron din daw pang mas kwalipikado na hawakan ang Blue Ribbon. And so far naman, si Senator Erwin Tulfo ang humahawak ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Yung Ethics Committee, last time si Senator J.V. Ejercito, ngayon si Senator Tito Soto na ang mamumunuan bilang chairman among others. Ang Basic Education, same kay Senator Bam Aquino. Ang Agriculture, pati Constitutional Amendments kay Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Yung Senate Committee on Foreign Relations kay Senator Mig Zubiri. Science and Technology, Senator Bam. Ang Justice Committee kay Senator Kiko Reneto and automatic magiging member siya ng Judicial Bar Council. Ang Committee on Rules kay Senator Migs kasi majority floor leader siya. Health, Women and Youth Committee kay Senator Risa Hontiveros na last time ay kay Senator Bongo napunta nung naging majority ang mga senador na yan. Finance Committee, Senator J.V. Ejercito. Ang Ways and Means kay Senator Ping Lacson. Public Services, Senator Raffy Tulfo. LGU Committee kay Senator J.V. Ejercito. Migrant Workers, nakuha muli ni Senator Raffy Tulfo. Yan yung hinihibik niya sana nung liderato pa ni Cayetano ang nakaupo na baka raw pwedeng makuha niya or hindi, subcommittee raw sana sa committee na yan. And Senator Joel Villanueva, who now joins the majority bloc, the decisive majority, nakuha niya ang Senate Committee on Higher Education and Labor Committee among others. Lord.
Saan amendments? Mary Mon?
Sorry, Lord. Constitutional amendments.
Oo.
Kay Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Alright. Sige. Okay. Mary Mon, maraming salamat sa update. Alam ko, maaga ka pa bukas sa isang coverage na hindi bukas sa media. Challenge yan. Maraming salamat, Mary Mon Reyes. Alright, more developments ahead after the break. You're still watching Political Beat. And you're still watching Political Beat. So has the Senate leadership dispute has it been settled effectively? With Senator Win Gatchalian now backed by lucky number 13, senators needed to form a majority. Questions are being raised as to whether the legal challenge filed by the Cayetano bloc still has merit, or is everything, as they say, moot and academic. To help us break down this question and other matters, we are now joined by former UE College of Law Dean, now novelist, Amado Valdez. Dean, magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi sa iyo, Lord. Magandang gabi sa lahat ng mga kaibigan natin.
Mabilis lang po. They will be in heaven before the devil knows. Sino-sino kaya itong mga... This is a work of fiction,
It's a fiction, no?
Pag-usapan natin mamaya ito. Saan ka nakita ang Lodi na nagsusulat ng nobela? Grabe, may time ka talaga. Sir, okay. Moot and academic na ba ito? Kung sa mata ng Supreme Court ba, i-entertain pa ba nila yung petition nila Cayetano?
Hindi na. Yung majority na kini-question, andun na eh. Saka it's actually political question. Pag sinabing political question, sinasabi ng Supreme Court,
Outcome dyan.
the decision will be maintained. Parang in a way, what was decided on must be followed, must be observed.
Okay. Mabilis lang po. Ano ba nangyayari sa pre-trial brief? At kailangan ba ng isang legal mind para mag-preside? Kasi mukhang technical yung mangyayari bukas.
Well, the requirement is yung Senate President ang magpipreside. But pwede siya mag-designate ng somebody. But he will make the ruling. Meron siyang assistant. Natatandaan ko nung si Chief Justice Corona, no? Well, lawyer din naman. Chief
Si Enrique
Justice,
Casio.
si Chief Justice, sino ba ang nag-preside nung...
Yung kay ERA po, si Davide
Si David, katabi si
Pimentel.
Pimentel. So that can happen. May katabi siya that will bubulong itong gagawin natin. I don't think that will be considered as disorderly part of making it well informed and well decided resolution of issues. Maraming issues dyan eh.
But they can make their own rules.
They can make their own rules.
Ang plano nga raw, mag-hire daw ng impeachment manager. Hindi ko alam kung...
Well, ang responsibility niya will be on the part of the House of Representatives because they will handle the prosecution of the case. Because I was part of the private prosecution, panahon na hirap.
Okay.
Ang manager namin nun si
Narbasa.
Belmonte.
Tama.
Mayor,
Prosecution pala.
Belmonte.
Oo. Matindi yung mga panahon na yun. Dean, ano?
Yeah.
At sa kabila naman, may Dean din. Dating Dean. UST. Narbasa.
Oh, Narbasa on the other
Oo,
side.
diba?
On the other side.
Bigat yung ano na yun.
Bigat.
Pero narinig ko po yung interview ninyo kahapon sa isang Elocadeo Macalma pala.
Kay Deo, kaibigan natin.
Meron kayong binanggit doon na yung spirit of the law. Ito bang pag-nitpick sa 13 versus 11, ito ba sa mga bilang, sa mga teknikalidad, yung kinukot-kot yung mga gantong mga detalye, ito ba'y bahagi pa rin spirit of the law, or are we missing the forest for the tree, or the forest for the trees?
Alam mo yung pinag-uusapan doon, isang boto lang eh. Actually, to make it majority. And ang sabi ko kahapon, the Constitution must be treated as a living Constitution. It has to address mga events which were not foreseen. Yung hindi mo na-expect na mga framers of the Constitution, but within the context of the purpose of the Constitution. Dahil, alam mo po, ang Constitution it's a cycle eh. Ang form of government natin is from one cycle to another, one election to another. In between, ando doon yung nuances where the Constitution governs. So when the Constitution, ando doon na yung mga procedures, but somehow there are instances, may mga situation na hindi na-foresee. Sino ba makaka-foresee na mayroong isang Senator Bato na magkakaproblema sa ICC? Sino bang makaporsi na mayroong isang Jinggoy na makukulong? That would change the tawag dito yung the equation, the number sa Senate, yung functioning Senate. It's no longer a functioning Senate. So, ang living Constitution presupposes a functioning Senate. Kaya you have to interpret it in the sense that it has to function. So, yun ang essence ng philosophy about a living constitution.
Kaya pala, yun ang title ng mga compilation ng mga essays ni Father Bernas, the late Joaquin Bernas. Oo. A living constitution, tapos under several presidents. Okay, binanggit may living constitution din. Sinabi mo rin dati, sa 14 years ago, yung impeachment court must be attuned rin to social norms, to the zeitgeist, kumbaga, no? Pero hindi ba may problema na relative yun? Kung hindi, yung nadidinig natin sa iba-iba ang mga opinion na naririnig
Alam
natin.
mo, ang tama sa Apari at saka yung tama sa Mindanao, sa common tao, iisa yan eh. So you must be able to capture the essence of what the people wants. Right and wrong lang naman ng taong bayan, simple lang yan eh. Ano ba nangyayari dyan sa budget na yan? Ninakaw ba yan? Etc. Yun lang ang gusto malaman ng mga taong bayan. So, my opinion, nung hindi pa nare-resolve ito is kung dalawang committee ang mag-imbestiga dyan, the better. Dahil you will have more facts
The more the merrier.
to gather.
Paano pag nag-iimbestigahan sila sa isa?
Mas maganda yan. Alam mo, ang balangkas ng ating Constitution, it's based on mistrust eh.
Yes.
Kaya meron tinatawag na check and balance. Kasi kung wala ng mistrust and there is unanimity under all circumstances, maging Alibaba na yung government natin. Kung magkakasabwat, gaya nung itong flood control budget, nagkasabwatan eh. Pero kung merong isa sa kanila na nag-blow ng whistle, maring hindi umabot sa ganyang kalaki ng problema. It's based on mistrust. Yun ang na-overlook natin.
Okay. Din, sa ganong lagay ba, tatanungin kita, sa tingin mo ba, ang mga impeachment court ay dapat may evidentiary standard, kumbaga? Pero may panganib daw yun dahil it will reduce the whole process to a judicial,
It's really judicial na may political implication. It's judicial in the
Pero
sense
paano
that
paghatiin
you have to
ng-
follow the rules of procedure.
Opo.
But yung political implication nun, aalisin mo isang political officer of the government, kaya ng vice president or president. Alisin mo yon. So that makes it political. Kasi there must be some measures that you bring in para isang abusive government official will be removed bago mapunta do sa next cycle, the next election. Yun ang pagkakaiba ng parliamentary form of government sa Republican form of government. Yung Republican you have to wait for the election In between may mga impeachment yan. Doon sa parliamentary form of government, ang sistema dyan pag masyadong people will be agitating, na ayaw na namin sa gobyerno yun, magkakaroon ng vote of confidence. At pag nagkaroon ng o lack of confidence, that government will cease to exist, magkakaroon ng election.
At sabi mo kasi, kontrata yun. kontrata in between the elected and
Yun
the
ang sinabi
electorate.
ko. There's a contract between the elected kasi the people is expecting some services, yung justified expectation ng mga taong bayan. Kung hindi nagawa ng mga elected officials, that's when the lack of confidence comes in.
So, hindi kayo pro standards of evidence na may isa-set na ganun?
Well, kailangan may, otherwise ma-abuse, no? But yung standard of evidence is, must be such na magkaroon ng hindi naman proof beyond reasonable doubt, but it has to be substantial evidence that would sustain yung conviction ng accused.
Kasi kung halimbawa ang pamantayan mo ay yung overwhelming evidence, minsan yung simple betrayal of public trust ay may ganun ho ba? Hindi siya answering to legal liabilities, pero yung determination of moral fitness to serve in public office.
Kasama rin yan.
Kasama.
Baka yun ang indicia of a moral frame nung official na yun. There must be something more na hindi natin nakikita.
Kasi yung kay Corona nun, sinasabi ng ibang senador, doon sila na-sway. Yun ang sabi nila. Pero,
Alam mo yung kay Corona Lords, midnight appointee siya eh. So, nung ma-appoint siya, meron ng lamat agad eh. Because it was a violation of the Constitution. Ang ginawa ng Supreme Court noong panahon na yun, ginastify nila yun eh. So, it was an issue that was waiting to explode. So, nung dumating si Pinoy, I think that was the moral motivation in the back of his mind na you were a midnight appointee.
may interview kayo noon, yung 14 years ago na binabanggit ko po. Sa tingin niyo ba yung Corona impeachment managed to establish yung ng betrayal of public trust, which is not a legal thing? Meron ba?
Well,
Paano ba sinusukat kasi yung ganun? Hirap.
Water under the bridge na yun. But yung tipong the moral norm prevailing during that time came to the point of justified na yung conviction because kung makita mo yung decision ng kaya yung mga decision ng Supreme Court, Corona can no longer govern the Supreme Court eh. Wala na siyang moral ascendancy. Yun din ang tinignan ng mga
Senator judges.
During that time. So how can he govern the highest court of the land kung merong batik? May mga issues pa kasi na hindi na lumabas doon na maaring brought to the attention of the senators.
Dapat ba parang mas as pure as Caesar's wife, mga ganun ang sinasabi nila?
Well, that's the aspirational standard na dapat yung mga judges and justices must possess.
Kung sa Senate impeachment, mukhang wala. Ilan na yung matitira pag ganun, Dean?
Iyan ay isang problema natin dyan dahil sa marami ring may batik. Kaya will the decision of these judges, the senator judges, be accepted by the people?
Pero siguro magtatanong yung mga ordinaryong nanonood. Paano mo sinusukat yung, di ba, maaring, sabi mo nga, ang mali sa apari ay hanggang doon sa dulo, sa katimugan ay mali pa rin.
Yung araw doon sa katimugan, yung araw doon sa apari,
Pero
isa yun.
tanggapin natin din, di ba, may mga tao na iba-iba ang panukat ng ethical standards nila.
Merong critical mass eh. And that is the one that will be prevailing. Kung ano yung critical mass, kailangan yung sensitivity ng mga senator judges must be too keen in order to be able to feel that. Pero gaya ng sabi mo, yung mga batik na yan, ano ba yung moral compass ng mga senador na ito? How keen is their moral compass?
Nung naglabas ang Supreme Court ng desisyon tungkol doon sa impeachment last, may mga ibang legal opinion na the Supreme Court may have overstepped its boundaries. So, to the point na sila pa yung nagtakda ng ilang mga pamantayan sa isang co-equal branch. Agree ho ba kayo dun?
Hindi ko, I don't want to, I may specific cases ba tayo, but anyway,
No, yung forthwith, nagbigay sila ng
they
definition of forthwith.
they always hide behind in case of doubt, they say political question yan. That's a safe, that is safe port for them. A good refuge on the part of the Supreme Court to say political question.
When in doubt,
When is that political question?
political question.
Because alam mo, yung totoo yung the will of the people, di ba? The voice of God. That applies also to that because they are elected by the will of the people.
But they are gods in Padre Faura, din.
Well, they are lesser gods.
Okay, ano ang nakikita niyong mga posibleng maging mga komplikasyon kapag nagsimula na itong sesyon?
Well, may mga rules as long as we follow the rules. Pero kung may mga senador dyan that they want to bend the rules, that will be the complication. Kasi doon mo makikita yung mga partisanship. So kailangan huwag umiral yung partisanship on the part of the senators.
Ano po masasabi ninyo na ang majority daw ay kasundo na sila na si Francis Escudero ang magiging presiding officer again sa
Well,
impeachment?
I don't think that should be possible kasi that will be illegal question kung siya magpipreside niyan.
Bakit
It has
po?
to be the Senate President because yun ang nakalagay sa Constitution.
Pag ang halimbawa din kapag ang presidente ang under trial yung Chief Justice, no? Dapat ang nagpe-preside. Pag Vice President. Okay, pero again, they may set their own rules. Sinasabing gano'n, ano? Pero din, may batik na rin ba itong si Senator Escudero pagdating, halimbawa, sa, alam mo na, reputasyon, etc.
Well, alam mo, pagdating na sa pagtupad mo ng tungkulin mo, you rise above and you try to redeem yourself. Baka naman this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself pagkatapos all this mga sitwasyon na yan.
At hindi lahat nabibigyan ng ganung pagkakataon din, ano? Swerte
It's
siya.
a good opportunity for him. Kaya he has to rise to the occasion. So, I think, kung manunod siya dito sa programa mo, he will realize na ito na opportunity ko para maging bida uli sa taong bayan.
I see. Okay. Din, ang presiding officer, at sabihin natin na, at least kasi nung kayo po ay naging part nung sa prosecution ng ni Erap Estrada, malaking bahagi ng Senado noon ay mga taong may legal training. No?
Correct. Sina Arroyo.
O at least kalahati siguro, mga ganun, ano? Pero ngayon, ano ang na-envision nyo rito? Of course, may mga consultants naman sila, no? Pero presiding officer na
Well, kilala ko yung mga lawyers in the staff of the senators. Palagay ko they are prepared also to support their senators. No? So, wala akong
walang problema yun.
dyan.
I see. Din, sabi niyo na kayo ay agree sa idea na ang VP Sara ay dapat umupo sa trial, magpakita. Kasi ito extra extra legal. Yung mga body language ay maaring maging batayan kamo ng paghatol.
Well, ang sabi ko kahapon is yun ang pag-aralan
Opo.
ng mga handler ni VP Sara because if she could project herself to be the innocent Mary do sa trial na yon, it could sway people. The mga senator judges yung antena ng senator judges will be very keen dun sa sinasabi ng tao sa labas. And there will be a lot of surveys. Panahon ni Erap, panay survey noon ako sa private prosecution, natakot ako dahil habang tumatakbo yung trial, lalong
Nakikilala ko.
lalong sumisikat si Erap, lalong tumataas sa approval rating niya. So, mabigat ito, sabi ko. So, but it was interrupted by the walkout. But I did not agree with the walkout.
Ang balita raw, umaga pa lang, pinlano na raw ng prosecution ng walkout. Totoo ba
Maaari,
yun?
pero hindi ko alam yun. Makikita mo ito footage, ako ang huling lumabas ng session hall. Because I did not agree with it. Gusto ko magkaroon talaga ng conclusion yung trial.
Ang walkout ba ay, kumbaga sa etiquette, anong equivalent nun sa totoong buhay? Halimbawa, kung sa interpersonal relationships, parang ano ba yun? Dirty finger, parang rude, super rude.
Yeah, it's rude, but nanalo sila eh. So, yung standard is defined by the victors eh. So, nanalo, natapol si Erap in the people power. So, maaring at sinuportahan ng taong bayan. Although, by looking back, there are those who question it na mukhang dapat di natin pinalitan yon, umabot na lang sa next election, parang ganon. Yun ang beauty, design ng democracy, yung cycle from one cycle to another, magkaroon ka ng election. Which is compared sa parliamentary na mas hindi pa dumating yung cycle, pwede kang mag-call ng election kung merong vote of lack of confidence.
Ano ang posibleng maging, quote-unquote, second envelope sa trial na ito? At alam natin yung second envelope ng panahon na yon kay Erap, it's actually nothing. It's a nothing.
Ako ang nag-receive ng envelope eh. Kasi walang gustong mag-receive sa mga kasama ko sa prosecutor. So tinawagan ako, malapit ako. So I was the one who received it.
Wala kayong idea talaga tungkol.
Wala, I just received it. Pero wala naman palang laman.
Di ba?
So sabi ko, dahil naging magkaibigan, it's part of post-event na yan. Sabi ko kay Era, bakit ko ako inobjekan na mabuksan yung envelope? Wala naman palang laman. Sabi ng mga lawyers ko eh. Kaya sabi ko, that's one point. Si Bibi
Sabi
Sara,
ng mga
siguro,
lawyers ko.
baka she should not rely too much sa lawyers. Yung gut feel niya, she should follow her gut feel. Yung gut feel ni Erap nung kung sinunod na yun, baka hindi siya na-oust. Dahil sabi ko, Mr. President, you should not have objected to that. Tingnan mo, tuloy, sumayaw si Tessie, etc., etc. So, events happened na hindi natin makontrol.
Di ba, anticlimactic pala yung laman nung
Wala,
envelope
zero,
na yun.
sir.
Itong green box sa pinapakita nila dito sa House Committee on Justice, no, na galing sa BIR. Sa tingin mo, yun potential second envelope.
Ayun ko kung kasama sa impeachment.
Ayaw nila pabuksan eh. Huwag daw buksan eh.
Well, baka kasi
Damay din.
baka meron doon,
madadamay.
di ba? Whatever it is, sila nakakaalam nyo. So discarte ng defense yan.
Okay. Dean, ang nobela mo, ang second book ni Dean Amado Valdez, They Will Be in Heaven Before the Devil Knows. Kung sino yung devil, basahin na lang natin. Dean, saan mabibili itong nobela ninyo? Nobela, ha?
Actually, sa second printing na eh.
Oh, wow.
Siguro, pag sa second printing, palagay ko sa mga big bookstore. Kasi naubos na yung first printing agad eh.
Okay. Ang karakter dito, Chief Justice?
Well, may Chief Justice, may President, tapos yung first Filipino Pope. Kasi na sinusulat ko nun, masyadong maugong na magiging Pope si Cardinal Tagle. So sabi ko,
kailan lang yun?
At kaya ko unahan ko na ako. Dahil kung naging Pope yun, mabibili ito libro ko. Kaya ginawang Pope yung one of the lawyers.
Pero dito may muntik na mamatay na Chief Justice dito.
Namatay
Namatay
yung Chief
pala.
Justice.
Sorry.
Namatay.
Binabasa ko kanina habang nagre-report si Mary Mon kasi. Ang forward po nito ay ang Chief Justice ng Korte Suprema.
Yeah.
Pero Din, ito ba ay nakabatay sa mga real life events? Or ang mga karakter ba rito ay hinabi mula sa mga
May
actual
mga
personalities.
events diyan na part of my experiences as young lawyer. So, andyan yan. Nilagay ko diyan. Siyempre, in-exaggerate ko na. Ginawa ko ng romantic ng konti para gumanda yung istorya. Di ba? We are fiction eh. Kaya kailangan mong gawing fiction eh. But basically, yung trajectory nung story nung naging Chief Justice was my life.
Naalala ko nung nag-apply kayo din.
Matagal eh.
What could have been? Alright, ngayon, at least may nobela ka.
Okay.
Diba? Hindi mo masusulat to kung nasa Padre Faura ka.
Well, isang instant dyan sa naging Chief Justice, he was being interviewed by the Judicial and Bar Council.
Ang ganda.
Doon ko kinuha yung eksena yun eh.
Ang ganda. Naka-upload yung video na yun yata, yung interview na yun.
Oh, yeah. Mga half hour akong kinestyon doon, sir.
Oh. Anong pinakamadugong tanong doon para sa'yo?
Wala naman because pag sinasagot ko sila, I dictated the issue eh. So I brought it to philosophical
kukumpas.
na hindi naman masyadong philosophical yung mga nagtatanong.
Sa ano sila yung mga
Kaya masyadong
Nasa letra talaga.
rule-based lang sa libro. So inilalabas ko para, siyempre, nasa taas sila eh. So you have to change the trajectory of the question. So, tabla-tabla lang kami doon sa interview na yon.
Oh, yan ang advice sa lahat ng a-apply para maging justice sa Korte Suprema. Maraming salamat po at thank you for this novel. Maraming salamat po, former UE College of Law Dean and novelist Amado Valdez. They will
Thank
be in
you,
heaven
Lois.
before the devil knows. Pero sino yung devil kaya?
That's an Irish saying eh.
Yes.
Pag maghihiwalay na sila, you'll be in heaven before the devil
Yun.
knows. Hindi original yung kung ano ba't nilagay ko because it's catchy.
Yes. At manginginom din ng mga Irish. Alright. Thank you, Dean Amado Valdez.
Salamat,
Thank
Lord,
you,
for
sir.
this opportunity.
All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Thank you. A presiding officer gains attention not by speaking the most, but by deciding who speaks, when they should speak, and under what rules. After all, the best umpire in baseball or the best referees in basketball are often the ones you barely notice. Yet in an era when every procedural ruling is interpreted as political signals, neutrality itself becomes questionable. Throughout the impeachment controversies of 2025, Francis Escudero repeatedly emphasized that the Senate, sitting as an impeachment court, must follow constitutional requirements. He also managed to provide us with a new definition of the word forthwith. Senator Escudero, as presiding officer, was a study in the difference between a judge and a traffic enforcer. The public often wants impeachment to move with the speed of a teleserye finale. Escudero insisted that it move with caution. His style has frustrated both allies and critics, and to those demanding immediate action, he has appeared overly deliberate. And to those worried about political passions overwhelming legal rules, he has managed to look like a rather strong brake pedal. History will probably judge his tenure not by the sharpness of his speeches, but by whether the Senate emerges most from its most contentious proceedings with its credibility intact. A presiding officer is not supposed to be the star of the show. But in Philippine politics, where everyone wants to be the lead actor, that may be the most difficult role of all. And Escudero should not blow this chance. F. Scott Fitzgerald once wrote, "There are no second acts in American lives. But this is the Philippines, damn it, where everyone gets a second, third, fourth, and even fifth act. And that may be the greatest tragedy of all." And that's the Political Beat this Wednesday, 17th of June. I'm Lourdes de Vera. Enjoy the rest of your evening.